So, you want to know about Bitcoin? Good idea, given that it is at the forefront of one of the biggest changes in finance since forever. You probably already know that Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. In fact, it was the very first cryptocurrency, which means at the most basic level that unlike dollars, pounds, or euros, Bitcoin is a form of money that isn't issued by a government. The concept was actually introduced in 2009 by Satoshi Nakamoto. And get this, no one actually knows who Satoshi is. We don't even know if he's a person or if he's just the alias for a group of collaborators. Either way, what Satoshi described was a peer-to-peer electronic cash system designed to let people make online payments without going through banks or other financial institutions. And no, he didn't mean Bitcoin was an alternative to PayPal. His vision was much bigger than that. He wanted to create something that is truly outside the existing financial system and which doesn't ultimately end up coming back to your bank account. How is that even possible? Because Bitcoin uses the blockchain, another term you'll hear a lot about because all cryptocurrencies use the blockchain. A blockchain is just a big database that records every time something happens. In this case, it records every time that Bitcoin is used. Yep, every single transaction. Many people call it a digital ledger. The special thing about blockchain is that it doesn't just sit on one big supercomputer in a bank. It actually sits on tens of thousands of independently run servers that are simultaneously and publicly updated in real time, all of which makes it very safe. Not only that, but the data in the blockchain is unbreakable and unchangeable. Immutable is the term preferred by Bitcoiners. So it's extraordinarily secure. And all of this means that banks are completely cut out the picture. They're not really needed. And that is what makes Bitcoin revolutionary. With Bitcoin, you can make an online purchase without being forced to go through a middleman like a bank or credit card company. That's the peer-to-peer part of blockchain technology. Think about it. All of a sudden, you don't have to put up with those bank charges anymore. You can immediately see why banks are getting very nervous about what Bitcoin might mean for them. The other major middleman cut out of financial transactions by cryptocurrencies are governments, which is a reason why so many of them are also hostile to Bitcoin. You see, governments control their economies by controlling the supply of their currency, such as dollars, euros, and the yuan. A currency like Bitcoin takes that control away from them, hence their resistance. One criticism they level at Bitcoin is that the price is so volatile. And let's be honest, it has been a crazy ride for anyone who has invested in Bitcoin. Prices rising or falling by 5% or even 10% in a day is not uncommon. Even so, a small but growing number of high-profile Wall Street investors and mainstream companies, such as the Blackstone Group and Morgan Stanley, are investing heavily in Bitcoin or offering it to wealthy clients. Many of them see Bitcoin as a long-term investment and are hodling onto it as they believe its value will skyrocket over time. HODL, by the way, is the word hold with the L and D switched. Why? Because knowing it means you're one of the in crowd. So, the rich might get richer from Bitcoin, but the first group to get the full benefit of Bitcoin are actually the poorest in society. Don't forget that 2 billion people don't have a bank account. They live outside of the financial system completely, while a further 2 billion have little access to banks. With Bitcoin, they don't need to go through a bank. They can exchange goods and make payments to each other directly. Equally, Bitcoin offers a lifeline to people in countries with failing economies and rampant inflation where the traditional currencies have become worthless. So far, it all sounds pretty good. But what about all the stuff in the news about Bitcoin mining being bad for the planet? First, let's be clear that by mining, we don't mean people digging underground. Mining in this case refers to the process of creating Bitcoins digitally on computers, and this takes an enormous amount of computing power. Which of course means it needs a lot of electricity, hence the debate about energy use. All right, that's the backstory. But the big question is whether you should buy any Bitcoin. Well, a lot of very smart and very rich investors are buying Bitcoin, but so are a lot of people who haven't a clue what they're doing. The bottom line is that right now, the potential gains from Bitcoin can be staggering, But the same can be said of the potential losses. Like any investment, the best piece of advice is never invest more than you can afford to lose. The second is to study and understand the product and the market you're investing in. A good place to start is with Real Vision, a free, on-demand financial TV channel that offers everything from daily news and industry educational materials to in-depth analysis and interviews with the smartest investors and brightest minds in crypto.